You finish laying out the instructions for an assignment. You ask for questions, get none, and say, "Go." Instantly, half the class raises their hands to ask what they are supposed to be doing. When this happens, it is easy to assume the room simply wasn't listening. But usually, you are looking at a biological bottleneck. Your students' working memory capacity has overflowed. Today, we are going to take your standard lesson plan and reconstruct it into a working memory optimized learning block in real time. To follow along, you need to gather two things: a draft of an upcoming lesson you plan to teach, and a blank daily scheduling grid. By systematically redesigning the physical space of your classroom and the structure of your delivery, you stop fighting against your students' biology and start leveraging it for deeper learning. This grid represents working memory. It's the brain's sketchpad, the temporary space required to actively manipulate new information. But this system has strict limits. When erratic inputs like anxiety or environmental distractions flood the space, original tasks are pushed out and the system crashes. Step 1 is auditing your physical classroom space to eliminate unnecessary sensory friction. Walk through your room and look for two specific culprits. First, identify and mute repetitive background noises. Second, remove overly busy wall decorations that do not serve a direct instructional purpose. This chart shows findings from a 2017 study on cell phones. It reveals a steep quantitative drop in working memory capacity when a phone is left on a desk, compared to when it is kept in a separate room. The mere presence of the device degrades focus, even if the phone is turned off and ignored. Implement a strict separate room policy. If that is physically impossible, use a wall caddy mounted as far away from the learning desks as you can get it. Every rogue sound or visual distraction taxes the cognitive space required for complex problem solving. Decluttering the sensory environment is a non-negotiable first step to secure the baseline capacity you need. With the physical environment cleared, place your drafted lesson plan document in front of you. Step 2 is breaking down the lesson material and establishing structural scaffolds. At the very top of your page, write down a prior knowledge hook. Attaching new, unfamiliar material to concepts your students already understand drastically reduces cognitive uncertainty. It gives their brain an immediate anchor. Look at your delivery block. Take a standard 20-minute lecture and physically divide it into 3 distinct 5 to 7-minute chunks. Within those chunks, establish a strict limit. Introduce no more than 2 new core ideas at a single time. This ensures the entire class has a chance to maintain pace. Methodical pacing and chunking protect the brain's finite sketchpad, ensuring it doesn't get wiped clean by an avalanche of new, disconnected information. Now, shift your focus away from your delivery and look at the complex tasks you expect your students to execute independently. Step 3 is building external memory scaffolds for these tasks. Forcing students to hold all the rules, steps, and instructions in their heads simultaneously leaves almost no remaining cognitive power to actually complete the assignment. Create physical backups of key instructions. Place a step-by-step checklist directly on the student's desk, right next to their work. You can also display prominent anchor charts or build distinct visual cues into your presentation slides to continuously guide their attention. These external scaffolds act as an auxiliary hard drive for the classroom. You guarantee that your students spend their mental energy solving the problem rather than trying to remember the parameters of the problem. Finally, pull out your blank daily schedule grid. Step 4 is strategically mapping out your brain break schedule. This timeline shows the target ratio. You must mandate a 3 to 5 minute break for every 20 to 30 minutes of deep cognitive work. Do not treat these gaps as behavioral rewards. They are necessary mental hygiene. Activities like stretching, recess, or structured daydreaming physically clear the working memory and allow students to reset their focus. Now look at the materials you have just created: a physical room audit, a chunked lesson plan, physical instructional scaffolds, and a hygiene-focused timeline. By intentionally managing cognitive friction through these 4 steps, you are actively optimizing the biological hardware of your room. Deploy this optimized block in your next class. Then, let us know in the comments below which